How's it going everyone? I'm Zfiles and today I'm going to be comparing the Velonasaur and the 4 different turrets from ARK Survival Evolved in a 4 video long series. These videos will be uploaded every Friday, so make sure to be subscribed so you don't miss the next 2 videos on the series. Today we'll be comparing the Velonasaur with the Heavy Auto Turret. We'll be comparing their damage per projectile, damage speed, attack range, health and resistance, target options, cost, ammo and power requirements. So first we'll be comparing their damage per projectile. So when you're riding Velonasaurs, their damage varies depending on how much melee damage they have. But when they're in turret mode, every single Velonasaur will do 20 damage. And the heavy automated turret does 462 damage each projectile. And that's in the current ARK version, which is 291.1. Next we have damage speed. So the Velonasaur shoots about 10 kills per second, so that means they do 200 DPS, which is 200 damage per second. Now for the heavy turret. The heavy turret shoots 2.86 rounds per second, so that means for DPS it does 1321 damage. So this guy does a lot more damage than the Velonasaur, and it shoots a lot slower though. Next we have attack range, so that's how far away it can shoot its enemy. So first we have the Velonasaur. When the Velonasaur is ridden, just go over to him, he can shoot from 23 foundations away. So I'm hitting him a bit there. But when the Velonasaur is in turret mode, then they can only attack from 17 foundations away. So it's always better to ride them, because they have better range and they do more damage. So for when they're in turret mode, they can only shoot from 17 foundations away. Now we have the heavy automated turret. So he has 3 range options. So the first range option is low. When he's on low, he can shoot from about 6 to 7 foundations away. And then on medium, he can shoot from 17 to 18 foundations away. And when he's on high, he can shoot from about 27 foundations away. Next we have health and resistance. So first for the Velonasaurs, this one's just a level 1 Velonasaur. So they start out with 440 health when they're tamed. And over here I have like a super bred Velonasaur, and they have 11,000 health. So it's quite a lot for the Velonasaur. But the heavy automated turret has 20,000 health, and also it's treated like a stone structure, even though it looks like a metal structure. So most dinosaurs can't even damage it, and it has more health than the Velonasaur. But with the Velonasaur, they can be mate boosted for resistance, imprinted, and also their saddle. If you had like an ascendant saddle, you could have the Velonasaur have like 100 armor or even more than that. So overall I'd still say the automated heavy turret has more resistance than the Velonasaur. Next we have target options. So the Velonasaur doesn't really have any. If you go to behavior, then change targeting, you can change these, but they don't really do that much. They don't really help that much. But for the heavy automated turret, you can have the warning. So it flashes red, and that gives the creature a warning for it to get out of the area before it starts shooting. So you can have no warning, 2-second warning, or 4-second warning. And also you can change targeting. So you have all targets, only survivors or tame creatures, only survivors, only wild creatures, only survivors and mounted creatures, or only tamed creatures. Next we have cost. So this is for the Velonasaur how hard it is to make the saddle and tame it. So to tame it, it's not that hard to tame, but it's not that easy to tame either. The best way is just to put a Carno in front of it, and while the Carno is taking up all the damage from its quills and everything, you can just knock it out, then it just eats meat once you knock it out. And for the saddle, you can learn it at level 27, and it only needs 150 chitin or keratin, 185 fiber, and 350 hide. Now for the heavy automated turret. So this thing, it's super hard to make. So you go to heavy automated turret, it's learned at level 100, so you can only get this at super late game, and it costs a lot of stuff to make. You need 150 cementing paste, 200 electronics, 400 metal ingots, 50 polymer, and an auto turret. The auto turret, which you have to make first to craft it, has 50 cementing paste, 70 electronics, 140 metal ingots, and 20 polymer. So the heavy auto turret is a lot harder to make than it does to just tame a Velonasaur. So you have ammo and pyro requirements. So for the Velonasaur, you just need to make sure they have meat in the inventory, and you should pump their stamina, because obviously once they run out of stamina, they can't really shoot anymore when you're riding them. And for the heavy automated turret, you need a lot of bullets, because each shot, so I'll just turn it on, each 462 number that pops up, that uses up 4 bullets. So it consumes a bunch of ammo, which is advanced rifle ammo. And it also needs to be powered by a power generator, which needs gasoline in it. So it takes a lot to power this thing, and the ammo is super expensive as well. So overall, I'd say the Velonasaur is super good for low levels, and it's super easy to make and get. And the heavy automated turret, you can only get when you're level 100, and it's super hard to make and everything. Though it does do more damage, it has better range, and it's even tougher, like it's harder to break down. So probably maybe just a mix of them as well, because the Velonasaurs, they're still pretty easy to tame, so you may as well have them in front of these turrets. So if you guys enjoyed this video, subscribing and liking really helps me out. And last time we compared the Velonasaur to the normal auto turret, which was a much more similar test, because the heavy auto turret is so overpowered compared to the Velonasaur. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it up in the top right corner now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.